Alright guys, so I am back with another video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to our channel and follow us on social media.
Life is just always mysterious and surprising. You never know what's around the next corner. You never know what's around the next corner.
So just a little bit of insight. Last weekend I did the Anatomy to Trains course by Tom Myers, and I was joined by Gail and Tom from Kinetics Clinics. And I just wanted to come on and do a little video, basically talk about my experience on the course, give a little bit of a review, share a little bit of knowledge that I learned on the course, and also just go through what I sort of took from the course myself personally and how I may use it in the future with my therapy. So first things first guys, I just want to start off by saying what an amazing weekend and an amazing course that I was on. I would highly recommend any therapist out there to do the Anatomy Trains course, because I mean it literally opened up my eyes to a different way of doing my therapy and just basically the way of looking at things and doing things a little bit different and just elevating and improving my game. So this was actually my very first CPD since I became a therapist, and it was not a waste at all. I'm perfectly happy with every little bit of penny that I spent. Every penny that I spent on this course, and I cannot wait for the next one to start. So the way it works is we sort of did the introductory session, and then there's different levels where they teach more techniques and more about the anatomy trains and the science behind it. But honestly guys, any therapist out there you're looking up to step up your game, I would highly recommend this course. Right, so we was tutored by a guy called Michael Watson. Really great tutor guys. I'd highly recommend you look at his stuff. So he's an anatomy trains practitioner and tutor, and he's got his own line of work. So if you want to have a look at him, his work is under mindful integration. Basically he has like a yoga background, and he's combined that with the anatomy trains and other therapies and his knowledge of therapy down the years, and he's basically assisting the anatomy trains program. And he's got his own mentorship program that I'm hoping to go out on myself. So basically he flies you out. He lives in Bermuda, so he gets you to come out to him, and basically it's just like a week's intense one-to-one training course with him, and like something that I'm really looking to do in the future. So soon as I got that money, soon as I got that opportunity, I best believe I'm going to be out there chilling, relaxing in Bermuda, and also learning. So I think that's the best holiday you can have, learning on the job, getting better at your skill, better at your trade, and also doing it in the sun. So win-win. So yeah guys, really great course, would highly recommend it to any therapist out there. So a little bit about the course. Anatomy Trains basically looks at how the body works in unison, and looks at how every muscle is connected. So I think what we are actually guilty of, and I've been guilty of this of myself, is when I look at the body and look at muscles, I think we look at them in isolation, whereas Anatomy Trains sort of takes your mind away from that and looks at how each muscle is connected in a chain to a muscle all the way up and along the body, and how that can impact therapies, impact people's action, and impact people's movements, and also impact people's pain and injuries. So it was a really good course, really learned a lot. So as I say, the biggest take from me was looking at the body differently. So when I used to do assessments, I would say that I used to look at assessments as a whole, and I used to look at muscles as individuals. Whereas what I took from the Anatomy Trains course was to, when you do your assessment, look at the body, each limb as individuals, and then look at each muscle as a whole chain. So reason what I mean by that is when you're, so for my assessments, I would kind of generally look in and go, oh, this person has got a, let's say, an anterior pelvic tilt, or they've got or they have got protracted shoulders, or their knees are pointing in, or their feet are pointing out. This basically takes you away from looking at saying vague statements like, oh, this person is lordotic, or this person is kyphotic, and it kind of gets you to break that down and look at each individual body part. And it was crazy, like some of the stuff that we learned was, we lined up let's say about 3 or 4 different people. There's some really good examples on the course, so we lined up a few people, and somebody would have an anterior pelvic tilt to somebody, but the anterior pelvic tilts would vary in each different individual and each different client. So it was kind of like looking at that and breaking down each bit on why they've got an anterior pelvic tilt and why that's different from this person. And how we kind of looked at it was also looking at the leg shape and the leg formation. So we're looking at the whole body and how that affects. But we're looking at it more in like isolation and saying how this affects this and how this one's different to this person, rather than just putting everyone in like these vague terms and vague, oh, so you're lordotic and you're lordotic and you're lordotic, rather than putting them all into the same group in the same category. This was kind of getting you to look at why this person's lordotic, what makes this person's lordosis different from this person's lordosis, which then once you start to apply that to the chains of muscles, it kind of makes you work differently into correcting that problem area for your client. So the reason being is somebody might be lordotic, but they might be lordotic because of reason what's going on at the lower limb and the lower part of the body, whereas somebody might be someone might be lordotic because of what's going on at the top half of the body and the upper limb. So that was really good for me to see that. Also, it sort of got you to assess, because as well as assessing people from the front and then assessing people from the back, it was also assessing people from the side to side. I mean, usually we just look at one side, or like you look at one side, then you get to flip around, look at the side and say, okay. But then what we actually did on the assessments in this was to look at and compare each side. And I don't think sometimes we don't do that enough as therapists. And what I noticed, and what a lot of therapists noticed as well, is that you sort of get imbalances between sides as well. So just because someone's, like I say, lordotic or got retracted or protracted shoulders, doesn't necessarily mean it's the same on both sides. So you might actually get more of a twist. So one person might have more of a retracted or protracted shoulder on one side, and it might have it on the same side, but actually what you find is it's a lot less and less distinct than it is on the other side. So that was really good take from me and for me. So also as well, when you're doing the assessments, you sort of see and you start to notice a zigzagging up the body. So as you see, like I said, you might have a problem area in your shoulder, you'd see it, and it might be mirrored but more prominent on one side. What you start to find along the body is it gets prominent but on the opposite side. So you, like I say, as I described it, you would see a zigzag along and up and down the body, which was really interesting and a real eye-opener for me and some of the other therapists on the course as well. So in terms of muscles and looking at the muscle groups, I know I said I sort of now look at an assessment and look at joints in isolations. However, your muscles is sort of something that I sort of was encouraged to look at it all together. So don't look at muscles in individual groups. Reason what I mean by this is normally when I'd go into a treatment, I'd look at, or a lot of therapists do, they say, oh, this person's got tight calves, or this person's got tight hamstrings, tight quads, etc. we'd go straight for the quads, and we wouldn't really look at what is going on around that. So basically what you tend to find is the body works in chains of muscles, and if you get an effect in one area of the body, that is going to create a chain reaction up the whole body. So just because one area is tight, you could also loosen it off by working in. And I know we've heard this, because I've heard this information before, but I don't think I was ready to hear it. I think sometimes in life you hear some information but you don't really take on board what people are saying, or so you know about it but you don't really take it in and absorb it. And I think since doing the Anatomy Trains course, I was able to take that information that I'd heard in the past, but now I was also able to understand it better and also apply it. So yeah, I was just able to better apply it. And one of the tests, and you can do this now yourselves, what Michael taught us is you might be able to you can do this sat down, but it'd be better if you were stood up. So if you put both of your hands out in front of you like this and try and pull your fingertips back to you as far as you can, you'll only get them so far. However, if you sort of don't know which way I'm going here. If you lean to the left, if you lean to the side, so I'm leaning to the left, so I'm sticking my hip out at the left now, all of a sudden I can get my right hand a lot further and I can't really move my left hand. But then if I come back to neutral and central, my hands automatically go to the same. And then you can do that on the opposite side as well, so stick yourself hip out to the right, my left can now be pulled back a lot further. So if you think about that test and how just putting your body in a different position allows you to sort of move your limbs, move your muscles in a different way. Imagine if you had a problem area in one of those muscles. Say if one part of your body was tight, think about how that's going to affect each muscle in that chain, how it's going to affect each muscle along that chain. So it's really a good eye opener to see something like that. And there were a lot of other tests as well which he showed us and examples to say how the muscles, body, etc. work in a different way depending on what it's positioned in. So this is kind of like where the theory and the idea sort of came from. So I was going to do this video a lot earlier today, because I had a bit of a gap this morning and I wasn't starting work till the afternoon. So I was actually thinking about doing this video, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't. And that is because sometimes when you do a course or you read a piece of information, you don't really know how you're going to use it or you're going to apply it. And this sort of gave me an opportunity that I did it after my clients and after my treatments to sort of use what I learned and use that in my sessions. Sorry. So basically, I didn't realize I was going to do this until I actually got in the zone and got there and got doing it and got working. But I started to notice I started to do my strokes and my techniques a lot slower, and I feel like I was a lot more slow and methodical in my proceedings and really trying to be focused and hit those problem areas rather than just being general and working all over. I've not actually had a chance to speak to Gail and Tom properly about the course and what their takes was on it, but we're planning, Gail anyway wants us three to sit down together and sort of discuss what we learned, what we took from it, just because everybody learns differently. We all know this. I'm different to the next guy and the next guy's different to the next guy or girl. So we just wanted to get each other's takes on it, get each other's insights and sort of pick up on things that each of us didn't pick up on or what someone else picked on, and just kind of just bounce off each other and share each other's ideas. Hopefully I might try and suggest to Gail and Tom, see if they want to record the session, and then we can sort of put that out to you guys as well, so you don't only have my intake on and my insights into the course, but you also have theirs as well. But I did manage to catch Gail briefly today, and speaking to her take from it was kind of, you can be effective by doing less in your treatment. Like, you don't have to bang everything out and do everything completely. You can actually do less and be more focused and actually get a better result from what you're doing, and it's actually better for the client's body on the whole, rather than going through a range of treatments and a range of techniques and confusing the body and not getting out as much as you wanted to get out in the first place, or get out as much, or get out the results that you wanted, or be as effective in that proceedings. So yeah, the reason why that is because it sort of gives the body time to adjust, rather than if you're going through a range of treatments up and down the whole body, and a range of techniques, up and down the whole body, it kind of confuses it and makes the body go all out of whack. Whereas how Michael described it is the sort of, not the less you do, so you're not doing anything, but the more you can like break it down, keep it simpler, you give the body time to adjust, and then you can bring out new things each week in, week out, and that would have actually a better impact, a better effect on the body than just banging everything out in one session. So these are our kind of takes and what we learned from the course, and how we're sort of going to apply it in our sessions. So yeah, hopefully I can get our session together with me, Tom and Gail, get all that recorded, and I really think it'd give you guys a lot to look at and a lot to think about, and just basically open your eyes to some new information. So guys, if you're really interested in that, be sure to give us a like. If you like the video, give us a like, drop a comment, always value feedback, as you know. Share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, share it on social share it on social media, and yeah, follow us and let us know what you think, and see you in the next video.